If you guys haven't heard already, Ultron is coming in for season 2.5 of Marvel Rivals. We have a lot of information on what's happening to Ultron, bunch of leaks, etc. So first off, the leaker entitles Ultron will be the new character introduced in Marvel Rivals season 2.5 to be released mid-season on May 30th, 2025 projected. He is shaped up to be a new strategist with his array of supporting and damaging skills. In this guide, I will break down everything you need to know about Ultron, including his abilities and how to play him effectively. So first off, we're going to be going over his abilities that have been leaked, and when Mr. Fantastic got leaked, they were the same abilities when he was released. So this source seems pretty good. I don't think anyone could Photoshop this image. But let's go over his abilities. First off, his attack is going to be Encephalo Ray. This is definitely going to be similar to Iron Man's Unibeam. I mean, it makes sense. Ultron was created by Tony Stark, so it probably will be similar to his Unibeam. The thing is, strategists usually have a healing factor on their basic attacks, but Ultron heals differently using his abilities. He's kind of going to be like Adam Warlock, where Adam Warlock is kind of more a DPS support. So maybe with Ultron, you run 3 healers with him, as it seems like he's going to do a bit more damage than other strategists. Next up is going to be his ultimate, Rage of Ultron. Summon Ultron drones to fire Encephalo Rays, damaging enemies or healing allies. So we're not sure how it prioritizes the heal over damaging enemies, but I'm pretty sure they would program it something like prioritize healing on your allies, and then if no allies need healing, then it's going to damage enemies. Maybe 5 or 10 drones are going to fly up in the air and just beam down everyone you see. Now this support ult is definitely very similar to Cloak and Dagger, as Cloak and Dagger's ultimate is the only one that can damage enemies while also healing allies. If you think about it, every other support ult like Rocket Raccoon, Mantis, Luna, Invisiwoman, all they do is basically heal or have another utility effect. So this support ult is going to be the second one that also deals damage. Right beside Cloak and Dagger, you can also count Jeff ult. It's kind of an offensive ultimate where you just spit people off the map. I mean, I guess you can heal allies in your mouth, but you don't really eat your allies just to heal them, right? You kind of eat everyone and then shoot them off a cliff. So Jeff ult is not really a support ult. It's a very offensive ult on a support. His next ability is going to be Dynamic Flight. Fly quickly in the direction of movement and then enter a free flight mode. Every strategist in the game needs some sort of escape or peeling ability, and you can see this says fly quickly in the direction of movement, so it's going to be a very fast teleport or dash, kind of like Rocket Raccoon, and then you just fly around and do whatever. He's going to be joining the only flyers in the game with Storm, Human Torch, and Iron Man, so he's going to be the 4th flyer in the game. And the free flight mode could either be Iron Man or it could be something like Human Torch. And his next ability, Imperative Patch. Command a giant drone to follow an ally, constantly healing allies in its radius with additional healing for the designated ally. So honestly, this sounds kind of like Luna Snowflake. That Luna Snowflake is literally a Rocket Raccoon healing orb, literally attached to you and healing everyone around you. The new Rocket Raccoon healing orb, where it constantly touches you and gives you bonus healing. So I think that's how it's gonna probably be programmed in some way, attaching a healing orb to your designated ally, and the healing orb just literally follows you. Now this Rocket Raccoon Snowflake can do other things. With Imperative Firewall, summon drones to grant bonus health to allies within range, centered on himself and the ally marked with Imperative Patch. It sounds like this is instant bonus health, so if you see burst damage coming, you can just pop this and every ally around you gets a nice shield, kind of like Hulk shield. It could be slowly over time like Amplifier from Rocket Raccoon, but I believe it's probably a burst bonus health to your allies. So far this is only 2 support abilities. And then finally, hold space to fall slowly. So Ultron is literally a 2 heal ability, kind of like Adam Warlock. Actually, Rocket Raccoon is literally a 8 healing orb reload kind of champion. But you have to remember that even though he has 2 abilities that heal, the Imperative Patch is constantly healing allies in its radius. So it probably is like a snowflake that perma heals everyone around that person. So what it seems like is you have to constantly apply a snowflake to a new target if you want to heal that person. And then you can think of Imperative Firewall as a soul bond of some sort. That's the way I kind of see it. He probably does heal more than Adam Warlock just because it's constant, kind of like the healing orbs coming from Rocket Raccoon, except he just has to reload. But yeah, remember, the person with Imperative Patch is constantly getting healed. So imagine this, an Iron Fist in the backline with Imperative Patch and Luna Snowflake just diving the hell over your backline. At this point, let's just add a full dive comp with Spider-Man and Venom, and they're constantly getting healed. This is going to be a little crazy for divers. Ultron can just sit back and do absolutely nothing while watching his minions do his work while he sits back and just, you know, flies around in a circle, even doing a little damage. So he's going to be crazy for dive comps or even ball comps that bunch up together and just get constant healing. But there's going to be a short guide leaked on how to play Ultron. Ultron is going to be a really long range strategist capable of supporting those who are not in his proximity. Imperative Patch is a healing skill capable of healing your teammates even if they are far away. This is perfect for healing teammate divers, flankers, and flying allies, such as Venom, Spider-Man, Iron Man, or the Thing. Imperative Fireball further supports those marked with Imperative Patch, adding bonus health. With those type of skills, Ultron is not a strategist who really focuses on heals. Instead, he is perfect to be a hybrid support, capable of dealing huge damage too. The best way to play Ultron is to stick with the team backline to provide protection for other strategists, while at the same time healing those who are diving into the enemy backline. His ultimate is really situational and a really good adaptation skill. If your team is getting an ambush, you can use it to protect your allies, and if your team is attacking instead, you can use it to deal more damage. So maybe his ultimate is going to be a toggle where you can deal damage, kind of like Luna Snow, or you just heal your allies. This is going to be very interesting, but we'll see how his ultimate is going to be when we see it. Ultron's team up ability is supposedly going to be with Iron Man, as there's obviously a lot of lore with Ultron and Iron Man, Tony Stark being his creator, both of them being a flyer and having a unibeam. And since maybe because he's more of a damage support, I'm thinking it might be a DPS team up for Ultron. Remember, in this game you can be an anchor while also having a team up for yourself, such as Luna Snow. She gave chilling charisma to Jeff and Namor, but Iron Fist gave her a team up ability, so she was an anchor as well as having her own team up ability. So even though Iron Man has Gamma Charge, he could be getting something from Ultron, but I believe because he is his creator, he is going to be giving something to Ultron. Could it be more damage or another healing ability? With that being said, here are the best team compositions for Ultron. This makes sense because most of them are divers as well as being flyers. So you can have all the DPS being flyers, and these flyers were susceptible to Hela and Spider-Man. And now since Ultron can give them Imperative Patch, they might have the defensive capabilities to handle those nasty assassins that kill them when they're in the air. It says here that Captain America, Bruce Banner, Thing, Thor, Venom are all diving vanguards who can really benefit from Ultron's Imperative Patch. Black Panther and Spider-Man are flankers who often need extra healing, which Imperative Patch can provide, kind of like the Luna Snowflake. Iron Man, Human Torch, and Storm are flying heroes who are often hard for healers to reach, but with Imperative Patch, healing them gets easy. He could also be good on like Hela and Namor, but those are like solo flanking heroes, so I'm not sure if you'd want to play with them, but we'll have to see when he comes out. And of course, how to counter Ultron. You have Captain America, Hela, Iron Fist, Mr. Fantastic, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, the Punisher. Okay, I don't really get the Captain America, but let's just keep going in the guide. So it says here, Captain America and Iron Fist are both relentless chasers. Even if Ultron uses his dynamic flight to run away, both Cap and Iron Fist can still chase him thanks to their high mobility and fast movement speed. So maybe his flight doesn't actually stay forever. It might be something similar to Doctor Strange where he can only fly temporarily. If that's true, that would make sense for them being counters, but I can't see Captain America being good against flyers because he can never hit them. Hela and Punisher are high burst damage dealers who can quickly kill Ultron before he gets away. Mr. Fantastic can close the gap towards Ultron even when he's trying to run away. His stretchy arms can also reach long range even when Ultron is flying. Of course, going off this, it does seem like the flying is only temporary. Spider-Man is the best flanker at one combo kill Ultron, which is true. I believe Ultron will be a 250 hit point support, especially because he is a fly. Well, he might be a half flyer, but all flyers in this game do have 250 hit point. It's definitely rare for support to have 275 hit point. I think Invisible Woman and Luna Snow are the only ones at the moment to have 275 hit point. So Spider-Man can easily burst Ultron, but remember, he can use Imperative Firewall to grant bonus health with allies in range of him or the ally with Imperative Patch, so he does have this ability. For some reason though, in the guide it didn't say anything about why Star-Lord counters him, but I assume if he's a flyer getting flanked by Star-Lord, that might mean he's going to be really slow like Storm or Iron Man, although Storm is probably the slowest to get away from people. So I'm guessing it's going to be somewhat like Storm with his flying. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about Ultron. Do you guys think he's going to be OP? I think with a very strong dive comp, he is going to be disgusting. I also think if you need a third healer against dive, you just literally put the imperative drone on one of your supports and then just constantly heal your backline so they can never die to whatever's diving them. So this is going to be very interesting. He's also going to be a hybrid DPS support like Adam Warlock and Mantis. And also you can probably go AFK with 0 damage and win games because maybe dive is never going to die. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. See you guys on the next one.